Okay, so what I did here first was I multiplied x plus 1, x minus 1, x plus 2, x minus 2, x plus 3, x minus 3. If you multiply them by the area of the distributive model, you'll see the same thing. And what's important to notice is when I multiplied these out, they resulted in a binomial, that every time that middle term canceled itself out because I ended up getting the same thing but a positive and a negative version. We're going to use that idea as we factor. So over here I have x squared minus 64. I want the terms, let me change the color here, to cancel out here. I need to make sure that when I add these two, that they add to be 0. That's the difference here. Usually you guys look for that middle term. The middle term here is 0. Okay, so over here I have the x and the x. I need to make sure these are the same, so that's the square root, the 10 and the 10, and then 1 plus and 1 minus. If you multiply that out, you would see that cancels it out and gives me the negative 100. Over here, same idea. Remember, it's not half. It's what multiplies. You need that negative 81 in that right corner if you're doing the area model. Okay. So these are pretty fast. It is important to note that these should be perfect squares. And this should be a difference. When I come over here, this is a little different, but kind of the same idea. You have to take into account this, but I still need the corners, if you do the area model, or the two middle numbers. When I add them, I need them to be 0. So I'm still going to look for the same numbers. And I'm going to have 3, positive 3, and negative 3. Okay? These can't be the same sign or else there'd be a double in there. If you tried the 4 and the 1, it's not going to work because you're not going to get the same number, like adding one number and subtracting the same one. Over here we have 5x plus 7 and 5x minus 7. And over here we'll have 4x plus 11 and 4x minus 11. Oh my gosh. And you're going to be looking for, again, these two, 44x minus 44x, that's giving you the 0 in the middle that you're looking for. Okay, so now be aware, I'm going to add a couple extra slides here. If it's x squared plus 9, let's say, some of you are going to say, oh, it must be x plus 3, x plus 3. Okay, now multiply that out. That is going to actually give you a middle term. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, well, what about x plus 3, x minus 3? Well, x plus 3, x minus 3, if you work that out, that's going to give you a negative 9, not the positive 9. Oops, sorry, that should be a 3. Let me erase that. So this one will end up being prime. So if it's an addition, it's going to be prime. And if either of the terms aren't perfect squares, then it's also prime. Okay, so check the website for the homework.